Alright, this is gonna be part 2 on how to make a USB fan. Hopefully you already watched part 1 on what you need to make a USB fan. And now I'm just gonna show you, it's gonna be a simple tutorial on how to do this and not to screw up your computer. Now, you're gonna need a fan with a red and black wire on it. I'm showing you right there inside the video. You're gonna need to go ahead and cut that wire. Now, after you cut it, you're gonna need a USB cable. Go ahead and show you that. That's the USB cable. I cut it, and that's the USB plug right there inside the video. Now you want to go ahead and strip the wires on the fan, only the fan. Go ahead and do that right now. It's gonna take a little bit of time too. Now, you want to go ahead and do the same thing for the cable, the USB cable. It's a red and black wire, you need that red and black wire. So go ahead and strip the wires on the USB cable. I already did that. Now, besides that, there's going to be another cable. That cable is going to be a green, white, and copper. You don't need those. So go ahead and cut it off. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Bam, I just did it. Now there's only a red and black. Now after you done did that, now we go ahead and strip the wires on the USB cable. The red and black wires. I did that. I'm showing it right now. I know you can barely see it, but what can I do about that? Now you want to go ahead and strip the wires on the fan. I already told you to do this a couple minutes ago, but you want to make sure it's the proper size. You don't want to make anything too short or too big. Now go ahead and double check. I'm going to go ahead and strip the wires right now. That's what I'm doing. Now I'm going to go ahead and do it for the black one. Now, that's the USB cable. Now you want to go ahead and take that USB cable down, wriggle it in front of the camera, and connect that to the fan. I'm going to bring it closer so you can see that. Now for me it's a little bit harder because I had to make the cable just a tad little bit short. So that makes it a little bit more hard to hook up, because a shorter cable more hard to hook up, you know? So go ahead and do that. It's gonna take a little while, so you might want to go ahead and pause the video and come back to it later. But I'm still hooking it up. Now I will go ahead and do that too for the black cable too. Sorry about my hand in the way. Now this is also going to take a little bit of time with the black cable. Now set that to the side and grab your solder. This is a solid core solder I'm going to show you right now. Solid core from Radio Shack. Costs about like $4 maybe, $2. That's my solder or solder gun, whatever you want to call it. Also from Radio Shack. Want to make sure that it's hot and ready to go. Tin the tip. If you don't know what tinning the tip means, that just means putting a little bit of solder on the tip of the solder gun or solder iron. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring the fan a little bit closer so you can see that, the process of me soldering. And I'm going to go ahead and solder everything together. And make sure you're in a well ventilated place, because there is a lot of smoke that comes off of that solder iron and solder gun. Now that you're done with that, you just completed the USB fan. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you how to put shrink wrap on the USB fan. Just on the cable though, not on the fan itself, just on the cable so it doesn't short out. That's the key thing. That's the shrink wrap right there. And you want to go ahead and just slide that shrink wrap on top of the cable. I'm going to do that right here. And shrink wrap is just something kind of like electrical cable. It just shrinks the wire together so it stays together tightly and doesn't break off. You can see the cable is a little bit shorter than, a little bit longer than last time. See, it's a little bit longer than last time. Now, after you did that, you want to go ahead and shit the wires on your USB cable again, if you didn't do that already. Now, you want to go ahead and solder it together. Get your solder iron. Now, after you're done soldering that together, do the same thing for the other side. Take it apart, put the shrink wrap on top, and then solder it all together. Right now I'm taking it apart to show you how to put the shrink wrap on the other side of the cable. So it might take a little bit longer for you. Go ahead and do this and pause the video. Now I'm back. Now you want to go ahead and solder everything up together. Make sure everything is cut properly, as I'm doing now with the scissors, cutting the wires. So make sure everything is cut properly. Go ahead and hook that up all up together. Now after that's all hooked up all together, you want to make sure that solder iron is nice and hot. You want to solder iron is cold. Doesn't work too good. Alrighty. This is also going to take a little while, so I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and come back to it later on. Now, I'm hooking up the cable, and I'm going to go ahead and put the shrink wrap on top of that cable. Be careful when you're sliding this on because it is pretty hard. It's not hard, it ain't easy, but if you don't slide on there right, you can mess up the cable or do something else. This fan that I'm using is also a white fan, and it's a blue LED. Now you won't see the blue LED when I'm starting it up because I accidentally broke the blue LED, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, now skip that part. Let's go to the soldering. Now I'm soldering the wires up together. Go ahead and take my solder. I'm gonna go ahead and tin the tip on my solder iron. As I'm doing right now, I'm tinning the tip. Now after you tin the tip, now you want to go ahead and solder everything up together. Now that's what I'm doing. Now I'm soldering up everything together. As I was saying, this is a blue LED fan, but you won't see that because I accidentally broke the LED part. And make sure you're in a well ventilated place because this stuff smells bad. Now I'm going to bring it a little bit closer to the camera so you can see it. Those are two pieces that I just soldered together. Now you want to go ahead and slide the shrink wrap on top of both cables. And make sure the shrink wrap is to the right side because you don't want a shrink wrap that's too big. You're just wasting shrink wrap if it's too big, so make sure it's to the right size. Double check. Sorry about the TV in the background. If you can hear the TV in the background, sorry about that, but I'm watching a TV show. Okay, now you want to go ahead and do that for both sides. Go ahead and slide the shrink wrap on top of both cables. And the way to shrink it all up together is with a lighter. That's the best way to go ahead and do it. But I don't have a lighter. I don't have a lighter on me right now. So I'm just going to have to use my solder iron. Now the way to shrink the shrink wrap with a solder iron is just take the solder iron and run it over the shrink wrap. Go back and forth, right on top of the shrink wrap. It won't burn it or anything, just go back and forth. I'm doing it right now, you can see it. I'm taking the tip of the solder iron and just holding it there and just running it back and forth. Real slow, not too fast, not too slow. And go ahead and do that right now, because I guarantee it's going to take a while. And you want to go ahead and do that for black sides, for both sides, red side and black side. And I'm talking about the cables. Now you're done, you want to take the USB cable. I'm showing you right there. And here's the big test. Hook it up and pray to God that it works. I'm pretty sure it'll work if you follow every single step. And mine did work, yours should too. I'm holding it up, there it is. It's spinning. And you have just made your USB fan. Enjoy. And have a good day.